We're talking to Lady Corder Chapman, and of course the topic today has to do with music and directing church choirs and musicians and whatnot. And of course, Lady Chapman, what we'd like to do during these last 5 or 6 minutes that we have here is to talk about some of your plans for the future. We know that you've been involved with what you're doing for many years, but it's now time to expand, because I think that you've already indicated that there is a tremendous need for what you're doing. And except, why don't you give us some of the plans that you have in terms of what you'd like to do with this church ministry beyond where you are today?
Well, I guess I'm like anybody else in business. I have short-range and long-range plans. And my long-range plans include me training other persons in the modes of operandi as relates to how I am teaching this music, which is basically, you know, teaching them to read the notes first. And then the very simple way, I prayed to God to give me some way of communicating to my students in a very short period of time how they can actually begin to play the piano without a lot of training. Because that's usually what people want to do. You know, they don't want to take music for 5 and 6 years and still can't play Amazing Grace, How Sweet the Sound, if that's what they want to play, gospel. So he gave me this arrangement, and I've typed it up on my computer, and I've got it copywritten. And it works and works and works and works, and I thank God for that. So I envision being able to train other persons as relates to how I teach it. And then I envision a building that houses maybe 8 to 10 little cubbyhole rooms with a piano, an electrical piano in each room, and other appropriate musical equipment, and maybe a waiting area, receptionist, and with the computer setups and all that kind of thing. Just a real nice, comfortable business type building. I envision that in the future, and I'm working toward that even as we speak.
You know, you said that you've developed a system that will allow young people to move into real music playing before they learn all of the technical kinds of things. So what do you mean by that? Explain that in just general terms.
Okay, and what I found, let me say in forefront that this has worked for at least 30 students that I'm working with. So I know that it works. It's just that once students learn the notes, you got to learn the keyboard, the notes, looking at the book. What are you looking at? What are you reading? Now play that. They've got to go there. That's the technical part of it. But aside from that, I have found that most people that are interested in playing the piano have a proclivity, or they have a leaning, or they have a need or a desire, or they have an inward talent that God has placed there. I always say God gives the talent. I can help you develop it. So that's what I'm doing. I take that talent that they have once we've gone through the technical part of it, and I help them develop that as relates to, there's a way that I can show them how to pick out the melody to the song, the melody first. And then there's certain notes on the keyboard that go with the melody. And if they can learn the melody and the notes, then they could put those two together. Any song. And they've got the songs together. And you might think, well, Miss Lady can't be that simple. It is. It is. It is. Once they learn the melody, I'm amazed how many people don't even know what the melody is. They've been singing Mary Had a Little Lamb for all their lives, and you haven't come to play it, you know, da 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 da. They really cannot do it. But once I get through to that consciousness, and when they say, oh yeah, I see what you mean now, and then we can go on from that point. But it works, and it works, and it works, and it works.
Do you have any kind of time limit that you could take a student in, and under this system be able to at least have him or her in a credible fashion play in
3 months?
You think that you could do to carry on a process like, well, you've already carried on that process in 3 months?
But a lot of it depends on the student. Is the student willing to do what I say do? Do you go home? Do you practice your finger exercises? Are you studying your book? Are you doing what I say do? Are you doing it the way I say do it? I thank God that this system he's given me, it's anointed, it's blessed, and it will work if the student will allow it to work. If they'll do what I say do, it will work. And I have yet to meet one student, not one have I met, and I've interacted with over 150 in the last 2 or 3 years. I've not met one student that the system didn't work if they worked it.
And so it's up to the desire on the part of the student. If they wish to become involved in music and become involved in the church in music, you can almost assure them
Yes.
that within 3 months that
They'll know.
they'll know the basic kinds of things about music. They
Yes.
can read music and
Yes.
whatnot.
And I'll have them playing Mary Had a Little Lamb and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and Come By Here, Lord.
Well, is there any age group, any age for that? Would it be best at any certain age?
Actually, I'd say as young as I've taught them as young as 6, and I've gone to 75, the age of 75. But they need to be tall enough where their feet hit the floor.
That's the only
because they're
criteria.
going to be using the pedal. That's the only
Only
criteria.
criteria.
And they need to be intelligent enough to know the ABCs because that's what the keyboard consists of.
Well, and of course, we've got about 40 seconds here, Lady Chapman, and let me thank you.
Thank you.
For coming by and giving us that excellent information today, because I think that it's a topic that many of us never think about, nor do we ever talk about it, but I think that there is a critical need, and I think I'm also aware of the need that churches have for musicians, and that there's a need for musicians, period. We'd certainly like to become involved in talking about some of your songwriting, because we also know that you're involved in writing songs and et cetera. But we would certainly like to encourage you in the things that you're doing in terms of trying to prepare young people for the church ministry. And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.